I'll never forget how the Lord called me to build Iris University. I was snorkeling out in Northern Mozambique. We lived there as the poorest country in the world, in the poorest province at the time in the entire world. I suddenly heard the voice of the Lord, internal voice of the Lord. It said, build a university. I got out of the water, drove myself to our property where we had no buildings at the time, drew a circle around the big baobab tree, yelled out, every child that wants to start first grade, come. We're starting school right now, because I knew that without first grade, we could never start a university. The interesting part of the story was I'm the least likely person on the planet to go to university. I had dyslexia. I was told I would not go to university at 16 years old. So when I was born again and I went out under the power of the Spirit, and when I got back up, I sat down in my chair and my brain was rewired and I was able to comprehend words on a page. The challenges were so incredible. Where would we find international professors? We've had an insurgent war going on for the last 7 years. What would it look like in the midst of that? What would it look like after several cyclones hit? I remember we were in Singapore and hearing about Rudy's company, his architectural company, and hearing about how he has such a vision to sow part of their time into emerging nations. I got very excited about seeing how maybe they would fit in the Mozambican piece. So I said, maybe you could come back over, pray about it, walk on the land.
It didn't take long for me to say yes. It was almost instantaneous. To me, the God of the universe could have asked any architect from any country to be a part of what he's doing in Mozambique. And yet he looked my way. When I was invited to design Irish University, we went deep into their culture, and I was fascinated with their traditional fabric that's called capulana. The capulana is a significant piece of culture for Mozambicans, and as a fabric there are many geometrical patterns, lines, intersection, colors. And I translated that component into architecture, into the master plan of Irish University. So the buildings, when seen from the sky, mimic the geometrical patterns like a capulana.
Many of the students are pre-believers. So they're coming in, they don't exactly know what's going on in terms of faith, but they're stepping in to a Christian university where they're being taught Christian principles, and they're also being taught identity in God. And these students that previously did not really know how to dream, and you'd see lights coming into their eyes, and they'd say, I want to be a professor. I want to be the president of Mozambique. I want to be the next pilot that flies Iris Air. I want to be an architect. They started dreaming the dreams of God.
It is such a privilege to be a part of this wonderful transformational project that brings people out of the cycle of poverty, giving them opportunity for a better future.
But if we, the people who love Him, come together for His purposes and lay our lives down for Him and one another, then the world can truly become a better place.
Amen. This is a university not just impacting Mozambicans, but all of Africa and more. With our little lives, we get to do this. It's such a privilege. Come, if you can teach, come alongside with us to serve. If you have on your heart to give scholarships for students to come and be a part of the university, surely God can use you to be a blessing in many, many different nations.